crypto, first of all, how to get crypto, how to buy Ethereum on an exchange. I need to have MetaMask. I need to be able to connect my MetaMask and my private keys to a open source, decentralized NFT exchange. I'm like, how are mums and dads going to get into this?
Yeah, barrier to entry.
A huge barrier to entry, even though the tech is amazing. And we're like, if we come at this from more like a traditional app view where we're going to build the technology on this, we're going to build the platform on this, on the back of this amazing technology, have it all in the back end, but we're like, okay, like a Coinbase. Coinbase made purchasing of Bitcoin and Ethereum and crypto very easy. All you had to do was download their app. They provide you the wallets, email address, sign up, log in, connect your credit card, and away you go. You've got Bitcoin. So why can't we do the same thing for collectibles? And with that as well, given the background that some of the team have at Chronicle with the entertainment industry, we really saw the opportunity to have a fan-focused platform with Chronicle where we're basically going to film studios, TV shows, animated series, and be like, hey, we want to create digital collectibles for your fans and basically target your fan base for these collectibles.
The biggest thing with the digital world is piracy, probably. I guess that's the first thing that everyone goes to, like Pirate Bay, and then you start immediately pirating movies in the 90s or LimeWire or whatever it was.
Yeah.
How does this NFT start to change the thoughts around piracy and preserve that?
That's right. One really cool thing about the blockchain is that it's open for everyone to see. So that's why Bitcoin has been, and Ethereum for that matter, have been quite prominent. There can be no transactions behind closed doors. The ledger, if you like, is there for the whole world to see. And that's the case as well for digital collectibles that we're putting on the blockchain. If we mint, just going to use an example, if we mint a Micro Machines, let's say, set of collectible cards.
I'd buy that.
Yeah, so would I. And we say, this is one collectible and we're going to mint 1,000 cards of this particular collectible. And you, Simon, you've got card number 5 of 1,000. Mm-hmm. Everyone in the world can verify that.
Okay.
Which is great. I think that's the best thing about what blockchain has to offer. Whereas if we download a video game and there's the Sword of Fire or something that gives you like unlimited lives or whatever, and it took you an age just to acquire it, you're trusting the game owners of that. You can't.
But they're not just going to replicate it and just steal what you have. Because that was the thing with basketball cards. Like in the 90s, everyone went bananas for basketball cards. I'm assuming your school was no different. And
I still have them.
You still got them, right? Yeah. Because everyone said that, oh yeah, hang on to that. That's going to be worth $1 million in a couple of years.
Not quite, but yeah, I thought the same. But yeah, I used to collect. Was it Mark Price from the Cleveland Cavaliers? I have a lot of Mark Price cards. And everyone's like, why are you collecting Mark Price?
He's got the same haircut. But he was like, Mark Price is underrated. I think
he was like a 3-point
champion.
He
was the man. And you could play him on NBA Jam too. He was that good. He was really freaking good.
It was amazing. Yeah. 3-pointers. And I remember it was a big rivalry between him and John Stockton. But
for the most useful white guy. I think Stockton might have won that one.
That's it.
Yeah. Mark Price was no joke though. He was really good.
But that's one of the great things about collectible cards. You would go into your trading card shop, which they're almost non-existent these days, or your local newsagent, and pick up a pack. And there's this whole thing about the branding and just opening up the pack, hoping that, okay, number one, you might get a rare card, which is really cool. Or B, you would get your favorite player. And I'm trying to emulate that in the digital world.
Yeah, because the thirst of that as a kid was real. I used to read those cards for my silent reading. I can tell you so many players, their stats, just because I used to just obsess with that. But there was a whole economy going as a kid. There was one kid, his name was Willem Van Sant. Oh, I probably shouldn't have said his name, whatever. Not editing that. Willem, hello. But his dad, I think, owned a news agency or something like that. So he got all these like boxes dirt cheap. And then he was like the godfather at our primary school. And so at lunchtime, we used to sit down and he'd be like, he had a Beckett magazine, which had the prices index in it, tell you how much all your cards were worth and tell you if a trade was fair, and he could veto if it wasn't. You know, I'm trying to give this guy, Terry Cummings, he's got 20 points a game. He's really good, but no one knew who he was. He must be, not that exciting. I'm like, 20 points a game. Come on. That's worth like Sean Kemp. That's 7.9. It was my favorite player. So I'm like, come on, that's a fair trade. The guy's like, we got to talk to Willem. We'll tell us what's going on. So, but I think the difference there was that we didn't know how many basketball cards were being printed. Mm-hmm. So now you can get on eBay, you can get a Jordan for $6.
Yep.
So we thought it said 30 in Becky in 90s. And we didn't know the scarcity. So that's what you're solving here.
Exactly. And in fact, what you just described, I think I'd like to think that we're solving a few things. Yeah, there is, let's talk about physical collectibles for a moment. You're buying the pack of cards and then the first thing that you want to do is protect them. So you're generally buying the folder that would suit, that would fit, 9 to 12 cards in it. Or if you had a special, you'd be inserting it into a hard plastic case. To agree on the price, you're buying the Beckett. And I remember Australia had an equivalent of the Beckett. I can't remember what it was called now, but it was very similar because the Beckett was the US one. And then you'd have to meet up in person for a swap meet and agree on prices and haggle and whatnot. And I think the opportunity with Chronicle is that all of that ecosystem is just in a single app.
Yeah.
If you lose or damage your collectible trading card, which happened to me a lot, you don't really have to worry about that in the digital space. However, I don't think that digital collectibles are necessarily replacing physical. I think that we're just creating something new.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting.
And I guess that's what they call, like, when you hear startup talk, they call that a blue sky opportunity. So you are creating markets. You're delving into something like a new black hole galaxy kind of thing. What's that feel like to be a day, and how did you get into it yourself?
Yeah, there's a bit of a background here with what we'd done previously, if I can talk about this for a few minutes further. This is the way that Chronicle got conceived. Back in 2014, even before that, I had been a Jurassic Park fan all my life.
Did I give you a Jurassic Park? There you go.
That's why I said.
See what's going on here.
I see what.
Well, that was complete accident. I got ET. I don't mind ET, but
these are Amblin mugs, so that's very good.
This is the Fremantle Motion Picture Company, so we're staying on brand. Yeah.
So I've been a huge Jurassic Park fan all my life. My mum took me to the theater. We were living in Rhode Island at the time when Jurassic Park came out. I saw it in the theaters in the US and was just obsessed with it. I got the first generation of Kenner toys.
Oh, yeah.
Grew up with Jurassic. And,
yeah.
I'm sitting there as an adult approaching 30 in 2014 and I'm still obsessed with it. And Universal Pictures had, I think just in 2013, announced that they were going to be filming a Jurassic Park 4. And they said this a few times, but this time when they said it, it sounded believable. And they attached Steven Spielberg saw a indie film called Safety Not Guaranteed, which Colin Trevorrow directed. And it was like, oh, this is the guy. This is the guy that's going to do Jurassic.
Yep.
A few rumors went online at the time on the internet speculating what the new film was going to be about. And there was this website that kind of leaked a small detail that the film's going to be, and we're like almost a year and a half, 2 years out from the actual release date. But this early rumor was like the new film is going to be based around an operational theme park owned by a billionaire Indian CEO.
Okay.
And I had a friend, still have a friend, Jack in the UK. And I basically said to him online one day, sorry, we're both Jurassic Park fans, obviously. I basically said to him, hey man, we should make the most of this and put something online that kind of connects all of the films to what could be this fourth film. So we basically create this narrative speculating what we thought would happen in the events leading up to this new film, given that we were still like a year and a half out.
Yeah. And you're doing this from your basement?
Yeah, pretty much.
In Perth, Western Australia?
Yes. Yes. All of that. Yeah. We're doing this on our own in about 3 or 4 days, come up with this website, put it online and just seed it out on Twitter to the fan base. Not saying that we're behind it. We just put it online. Fans, because this is like the first Jurassic movie after like 13, 14 years and everyone's in anticipation for it. Everyone freaks out thinking that Universal Pictures has dropped a viral marketing website for this new film. And that wasn't necessarily our intention, but we're just like, oh, this is interesting. Let's see where this goes. And so before we knew it, IGN and Variety picked up on it. So it really gained legs. We're talking like 50 to 100,000 people just visiting this website in like
the space of what, 2 days, 3 days?
Something like that. It was
so what were you doing? Were you freaking out? Did you have to go to work at Woolies or something like in the meantime?
I was working as a laboratory assistant at Fremantle Hospital in the pathology laboratory.
Yeah, creating COVID. So that got put off for a few years until you...
Oh, yeah, that was...
Because that's where COVID would have started, Fremantle pathology, no doubt. Plus, God knows what else is in that stupid hospital.
Oh, but no, it was quite amazing just seeing the fans going for it. And we're like, oh, we created something pretty cool here. And what was really cool was that Colin, being a young indie film director who has just been given the franchise of Jurassic Park by Steven himself, came across it and this is really cool. And he tells Universal Pictures marketing division, hey, can you find out who did this? And Universal Pictures reaches out to Jack and I. They found out who was behind it because we had like a contact form. So they reached out there and it was all real. And so they're like, oh, we really like what you guys have done. Do you want to get on the call? And I'm like, wow. And yeah, so we had a call with them. And sure enough, they're like, do you want to maybe work on something in an official capacity? I'm like, yeah, like it was a fan dream moment.
I don't know. I got this pathology gig there.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Sure enough, they flew us over to Los Angeles. Colin had just finished wrapping up the movie at that point, and we basically got, down the rabbit hole, as I say. So they pretty much gave us access to all of the production stills and like the screenplay and
oh my God.
Into the world. Like we had seen stuff that no one was going to see for another year.
Oh my God.
It was insane. And sure enough, what they wanted us to do was basically to represent the super fans of the franchise, fans that were going to probably watch the movie in theater 10 times and tell 100 of their friends to go see the movie and just create chatter online. Those kind of fans, the super fans. And we were tasked to create a digital immersive experience through a website. And so we created masraniglobal.com, which was if you're familiar with Jurassic World, the film, Simon Masrani is the CEO of the new Jurassic World and basically created, the backgrounds of his character and Bryce Dallas Howard's character and, put it all on this website. And sure enough, the movie does extremely well. Universal Pictures announces another 2 movies to come after that.
So you basically created that strategy from nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just from nothing. We were very fortunate that Colin was very involved in this. We were coming up with ideas connecting the 1993 Jurassic Park with Colin's movie and being like, hey, what do you think of this? Would this make sense in your universe? And you'd be like, yeah, let's do that. And then be like, oh, no, let's add something else and that kind of thing. So we're working quite closely with Colin for the Masrani Global website. And the film comes out, does extremely well. For the next 2 years, Jack and I are kind of Jurassic World consultants with Universal, if there is such a term. But we're getting like asked, we're doing work and getting asked questions.
Did you do a Reddit AMA?
We should. Well, we did a few podcasts, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, they're like we're consulting on all things like the toy series, the Lego series, expanded universe content, Tess Sharp's book, and all sorts of things.
Now, as just a guy that liked the movie, did you go, oh my God, this is how the movie business works? Because you're seeing the back end. There's that mythology around the Star Wars merchandising rights and that sort of stuff. And then you think the movie's the movie and it makes this much at the box office. But then when you get into the back end of where the money is, would it just blow your mind?
Yeah, I don't think I maybe took it for granted. When they were like asking us to look at this stuff, I knew that they were going to be doing all of this. They're going to be making the toys. They're going to be making the shirts and whatnot. I think it was just like really fortunate or considered myself really lucky that they were asking a fan to have a bit of input into that. And I felt really privileged. But yeah, I didn't stop to think for a second that, wow, this is how it works. I always assumed a franchise like Jurassic, this is probably how the machine would function. But where it really did start to kick in with your question is for Fallen Kingdom, which was the sequel, which was directed by Juan Antonio Bayona and written by Colin. They flew us out over to Pinewood in the UK for that. And I think that's where I really got my sense of how a movie is made. You had like literally hundreds, if not up to 1,000 people just behind the scenes working on the creation of this film. There's 9 or 10 different sets that have been constructed for it. And you got access to production material and just the insane amount of work that went into that movie. And this is done across multiple movies in every region around the world. Yeah. Every day. Uh-huh. I'm like, that's insane.
And those 1,000 people, they're probably like the coolest people that everyone else knows. If you know someone that works in the movie business, you're like, man, that's my favorite uncle.
No, it's just...
It's wild.
It's insane. And some of the most talented people I've ever seen there.
Did it kill any of the magic? Like when you see how it works? Or
it's really funny. We went there with a funny story as well. At the time, the executive vice president of digital marketing at Universal Pictures, Doug Neal, was with us at this store. So he flew over from LA to London and I flew over from Perth and Jack was already in.
From Perth. They're like, wait, how much is the airfare?
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
So we're all on the sets and you got Doug and it's a surreal moment. We're walking between sets and we went from, if you're familiar with Fallen Kingdom, we went from the Lockwood Manor set to the Arcadia, the boat set. And Doug kind of like taps my shoulder and he's, it's all fake, Tim. Hollywood's all fake. And I'm like, yeah, but it's pretty amazing how fake it is. Cause you go to some of these sets and once you're in them, you're like, I could literally be in a building. It's just, they are so well crafted and so well done.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought that conversation was going to go like it was all just a wood paneling and then behind it is nothing. And you're like, oh, fuck.